Well, hello again, sports bettors. It's Jonathan here from the School of Bets, and in this video, we're going to take a really close look at the FOXBet app. It launches here in the US in the fall, and we think it is going to be a market leader from day one. It will change the way you bet, it will change the way you watch sport, it will change the way all other sports books do business. Let's get a bit of background here. The Stars Group purchased in Australia in 2018 from William Hill and CrownBet a mobile app which they rebranded BetEasy. That mobile app is a market leader in Australia. It is absolutely fantastic, and its functionality is well beyond anything that you see in the US marketplace. Now, Australia was purely a testing ground for the Stars Group. And when FOXBet jumped in and bought a portion of the Stars Group, that allowed them to then come to the marketplace here in the US with an already tried and tested app that is super functional. Now, Australia is not the Stars Group's only foray into sports betting. They own multiple franchises, including Sky Bet in Europe, which is absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And so when they come to the US, they're not new, they're not starting out, they're not testing, they're going to take this place by storm.
Okay, so we're going to have a little look here at the BetEasy web browser, and the functionality of this is going to give us a real insight into what FOXBet might bring to the US market, obviously owned by the Stars Group. First of all, you've got these menus along the top here, which are pretty standard, I guess, across most sports books. In Australia, racing is very significant, and so there's a racing tab, there's a sports tab, and then we have our live betting, multi or parlay button there, which allows us to build a whole heap of different multis, sensational promos, and then a tips page, which is really useful because it gives you lots of kind of information for beginners, and then some tips from some experts of where to possibly lay your money. You take it or leave it, but useful. All right, a couple of things you'll notice on this homepage. This banner here that's scrolling through promotions has got some amazing things. We'll come back to this KO thing in a moment. We've got a bet slip that's retractable, so I can get rid of the bet slip if I don't want it there in my screen, and then I've got a whole list of other sort of promotions and things down the side, which are useful for the bettor to know about. I've got a next to jump sort of thing going on over here on the left. Obviously, this is pertaining to horses, dogs, and harness racing, but we can change that to sport at some point. I'm going to minimize this, but this is where you can watch live racing from various tracks around Australia. Could be functionality that comes to the US. Definitely live streaming is going to come to the FOXBet app. I can guarantee you that. So I'm going to minimize that for now. And then we'll look at what else is on the screen. So again, here we got our sort of next to jump or next to start. I'm going to go across to the sports section of that, and here's my upcoming sports all available right there to see what's coming up. Now you can view all sports. You can filter these so that you're just if you only want to bet on esports at this point, you can filter this so you can see when the upcoming esports, etc. are. And then along here, they've got also some featured sports and when they're upcoming, so I can scroll across heaps and heaps there. Of course, got an Australian focus, but this will all be branded for the US. Plenty of options there, and all of the sports basically, and when they're upcoming, so you can filter that down beautifully. Something I would like to show you very, very closely here, and I find this quite interesting, is for starters, it's these approved betting partners and official partners of BetEasy, which is the Stars Group. And okay, we've got a bunch of Australian sort of sporting organisations there: the AFL, the NRL, cricket, Tennis Australia, Netball, Football Federation Australia, which is soccer. Okay, and they're all kind of big sports in Australia, and these are all official leagues, and they just jump straight on board to be an approved betting partner. The official partners over here, we've got the AFL included, which obviously unlocks some more things. But hello, the National Basketball Association, the NBA, is an official betting partner of BetEasy. Now, what that means is that BetEasy gets access to a whole heap of branded NBA banners, information. They've got footage, they've got stats, they've got data that the NBA is more than happy to share with them. Now, why would the NBA partner with BetEasy in Australia or the Stars Group or FOXBet in the US, and that is because they understand that if you're betting on sport, you're more likely to watch sport, and that's what the NBA is all about. They want eyes on the game. First thing we're going to go to now is the sports page, and it's extensive and it's fantastic and it's easy to read and it's honestly just brilliant. And so we've got some featured events here across the top in the US that's going to be branded NBA, NFL, Major League, NHL, etc. And then all your sports sort of with an icon here, which is fantastic. I'm going to go to American football or the NFL. Let's just click on that for now. And what I like about this is that you've immediately got your NFL or college football selections along the top. You've got games, that are obviously they're a little while away yet, but they're definitely right there and ready to be bet on. You've got the H2H means is the money line. In Australia, that's head to head, and the line bet. So it's all there, easy to see, very easy to navigate. You can use this drop down menu here at any time to get back to any of the other sports that you might like to go to. So very easy to navigate, smooth, quick, as you can see, super quick. And then already there's a bunch of markets placed on each of those sports. So the sports tab to me is second to none. It's really easy to navigate. Probably not a huge standout in comparison to other sports books, but you can expect this at FOXBet. Simplistic, quick, easy access. All right, so the live betting at BetEasy is fantastic as well. We're going to click on that tab from the homepage. Now, just ignore this up here. This is not going to come on in the US, but in Australia, under legislation, you actually need to make a phone call to bet live. It's just a way to sort of minimize that betting that occurs, where they think it's kind of addictive. And so, yeah, not a well-liked feature by Australians, but what we still have is a really fantastic platform here. And so in this case here, we've got some tennis games. I can minimize that. Soccer games that are going on at the moment. A Major League Baseball game, which is an absolute blowout at this point in time. And some upcoming live events, which are useful to know about if you are into live betting. But we'll just focus on the tennis here for a second. And you can see here we've got an ATP Tour game. We've got the set and game score. We've got the point score within the individual game. You've got the odds. And then we can click on this game. There's 40 markets available on that. And what I like about this is this very prominent scorecard, very prominent, easy to read, and easy to navigate. And then a whole bunch of markets here that you can just jump onto whenever you need. And these are fluctuating all the time, real time, as we speak, and all that sort of stuff. So it's a very simple, the live betting feature here is very simple. It's very easy to use. It really comes to life when you've got plenty of action going on. So let's go and have a look at this Major League Baseball game. I know really there's not much of a contest on here, but again, some pretty good functionality there. I actually like better what I've seen with some of the US sports books in the way they produce some real data and some real stats that come through here on these games. But nevertheless, I think it's pretty good, and I think remember this functionality is exactly FOXBet owns this, and this is coming, so they're going to be hitting the ground running with live betting, and that's a great thing because live betting is going to absolutely be the biggest thing to hit the US in a long time. In Europe, we know it's 60% of all bets are placed in game and live at the moment, so not the case in Australia because of this sort of clunky method of having to make a phone call. Okay, and multi-express is, in terms of US parlance, that's actually a parlay. Here it is loading up here, and this is a really quick way to place a parlay bet. You've got over here a quick review. You've got a quick choice on some amounts that you want to stake, but you can obviously type in your own there, and then you just sort of simply come along and click on events that you like. Now you can look at games that are just coming up, so you can quickly get one on, or you can go ahead to events that are in the future. So you can click on the American football there again, and you might say, look, Chicago Bears, 52 days, 3 hours. I don't think you'd be betting on that just yet, but you might click on the Chicago Bears and the Ravens and then the Vikings and say, okay, I've selected for myself a little bit of a parlay here. Didn't quite click on that. There we go. And so a 3-leg parlay. It's very clear. The multiplier comes through here. You've got odds of 332 in decimal, which is plus 232 in 232 American odds. And then for a $10 bet, you've got a return of 33, or you can change that to 20, and the return obviously increases. That's stake plus profit. And yeah, easy to use, simple to use. And I think this is just standard functionality that's going to appear in the FOXBet app. Okay, and so now on the promotions tab along the top here, this is what I think sets BetEasy, Stars Group, FOXBet apart from the other sports books, and it is their vast array of promotions that they have available. And so I will say there are some sports books in Australia that kind of match this, but in the US, I don't think there is. And so let's have a little look at a couple of these things. The first one being, I'll just minimize that racing thing, is this KO, 3 months free KO. Now, KO in Australia is a sports streaming subscription service, which has only just sort of come into the marketplace in the last 6 to 12 months. And here, through an account at BetEasy, you're going to get 3 months free to KO, which means you're getting the content to watch the sport live. Now, this has all the ESPN channels, it has Fox Sports channels, and a variety of other European soccer channels, et cetera, et cetera. Now, you talk about a giant like Fox Sports combining with the Stars Group. This is going to be par for the course, I believe, whether it's discounts, whether it's free months, whether it's free additions to your service. If you're betting with FOXBet, you're going to be getting subscription television, live sport included in your package at some point. And I think that's just huge. Now, included in the promos page here for BetEasy is also this rewards section, which kind of unlocks more promotions for you as you roll along. And so the My Rewards kind of component is fairly new to Australian bettors through BetEasy, but it is fantastic, and I've used it in the past, and I do think it's extremely rewarding as far as what's on offer for the bettor. Also included is a variety of sort of parlay bonuses on sports. Now, obviously, this pertains to sports that the betting agency is partnered with. In terms of here, it's the AFL and then the NRL, but in the US, insert sport there, so NBA, etc. So lots of parlay sort of stuff. You've got plenty of racing kind of bonuses as well, which run through. You've got, but all of these things, you've got this BetEasy search, so you can search up your market that you want. You've got these double your winnings, plenty of those come through on a weekly basis. You've got bet returns, so you can actually get your money back from a bet if particularly in horses, if your horse runs second or third. You've got deposit bonuses, and this is not for a sign up, this is for ongoing deposits into the account. You got bet boosts, you got everything there, just constantly there and available to the bettor all time, almost like a smorgasbord to choose from. So expect promotions to be one of the pillars for FOXBet. Expect it to involve free streaming of live sport. Expect it to be loyalty rewards. Expect it to be huge value. And the final part across this top menu here is the tips page. Now, this is certainly something else that's very, very useful for a beginning bettor. And this is this BetEasy blog, which, we know Fox Sports produces so much content on sports, so many analysis shows, preview shows, review shows. So that content's going to be available through their betting app. Over here, BetEasy or the Stars Group are producing sort of specialist content that you can only get through the app, and I would imagine Fox Sports would do the same. Great way to get out betting specific information that they don't possibly want to run on their normal network. But then you got this blog where you got, they're giving tips, and these tips do win quite regularly. So, I mean, it's not like they're giving out tips to sort of dud the bettor. I mean, they're giving out really rock solid kind of information. It's right back for, Wimbledon and cricket and et cetera, et cetera. But again, insert US sports, insert something that's appropriate to the time that you're looking at the app. I mean, it's fantastic. They link it with their social medias, which is just on the money all the time in terms of keeping you up to date with markets to bet on and so on and so forth. So the tip page is brilliant. Included in that is lots and lots and lots of drop down menus of excellent things, sports specific things, how to actually place bets and so on. Yep, so really, really useful. FOXBet is going to be all over this. Okay, so I want to show you this as well, and this comes from BetEasy. It's kind of new to BetEasy, but again, going to be owned by FOXBet. Is this a way of searching for winners? Okay, so I'm going to click on this banner here. It does work better on the app. It's really useful on the app. Since we're on the web browser, I'm just going to show you this little thing here, this little animation. But it's just, and this pertains to horse racing. But I mean, you could pinpoint this towards any sort of sport once the data is involved. But it's a way of finding a winner using your own filtering system. I mean, you might think you like away team or road team, wet conditions within a certain range of odds. I'm not sure. You can punch that in, and it's going to pull up bets that suit that particular filter that you've run across it. So imagine that in the major leagues, where it's a particular type of pitcher, pitching to a particular type of batter, etc. You Whatever filter you feel is appropriate for you, you're going to be able to run that through a filter and actually produce those bets really quickly, the markets really quickly that you can bet on. So again, just a brilliant addition, and just all about increasing the user experience for the better.
So guys, that's what we think FOXBet is going to look like. Can't wait for it to get here in the fall. Please like and subscribe the video, and we're going to see you next time on the School of Bets.